People who have been on game shows and won, what did you really win, and how did it help your life? I won $125,000 on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire about 20 years ago. After taxes, I still had about $80,000. I paid my car off, got a computer, was able to quit a full-time job I hated, and take a more enjoyable part-time job, and went to college. Now I work at a job I love that I wouldn't have if I never got a college education. R.I.P. Regis. I won the showcase on The Price is Right. It was the spring break episode, so it was only college students. It was my senior year of college. Winning a new car and a bunch of other stuff made the last semester of college awesome. It's been 5 years and I still drive a car. So I guess it's changed my life, in that I've never had car payments. I won the top prize, $500, on a quiz show called Inquisition. This was around 1999. The check arrived right before my car registration was due, which was helpful because I had just lost my job. When I was 10 I correctly guessed the weight of a pumpkin and won a packet of giant cabbage seeds. I never got round to planting them. Life has been downhill ever since that peak. I won a few thousand on Jeopardy a few years ago. It allowed my wife and I to finally go on a honeymoon 2 years after getting married. Maybe not life changing on a grand scale, but definitely made our lives a bit better. I was on a kids game show in the late 80s with my brother. We won, but lost the grand prize, trip to Disneyland, in the bonus round, and were given a $500 gift certificate to a toy store instead. $250 each for a toy store was absolutely incredible for a couple of kids, especially in the 80s. I still remember that shopping trip. My high school drama and speech teacher was the friend someone called for a phone a friend option on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Back when Regis was still the host, the guy who called him shared a portion of the money with my teacher, like 30k, and my teacher used the money to adopt a baby. My mom and I went to The Price is Right and my mom got called down, got on stage, and won her game. She did not win her wheel spin unfortunately, but she won $10,000 cash from her game, so that was pretty good. Can't complain about winning a bunch of cash. I think about 30-40% went to taxes. Fun fact, you get $300 if you get called down to contests row on The Price is Right and don't make it to the stage. My mom won a trip to Vegas by calling in about her worst day ever on a radio show. They were giving away a weekend for two in Vegas to someone that had a really bad day. My mom's day started off with my dad getting into a car accident totaling the van, our only vehicle at the time. Then when she got the rental car she did some grocery shopping and accidentally locked the keys in the trunk. After she loaded the groceries in, she had to wait over 2 hours for a guy with his arm in a sling to show up to unlock the trunk, and the key snapped off. They had to call a locksmith to open the trunk and that took another hour. All the perishable groceries were no good anymore because they were in the trunk for 3 hours. Then when my mom was finally on her way home she hit a cat. She then got home and had my brothers and I help her take in what was left of the groceries. When my older brother closed the door locking all three of us out of the house, our neighbor had to help us break back into our house by prying open a window and helping me through so I could go unlock the door. This was back in 1991 or 1992. My parents had a wonderful vacation and 9 months later had my baby brother. I was on Let's Make a Deal in 2016 and I won a new car. It was actually perfect timing because my old car was on its last legs and I had started saving for a new one. Then I won a new one and the money I had saved paid the fees and stuff. I won the car in August but didn't actually get it until November when the episode aired, but they drove it to my apartment and had me sign the deed and it was all pretty painless. I had heard rumors throughout life about winning on gamma shows costing you and things like that. I guess because I already had some money saved for fees and taxes it ended up really painless. Got a brand new car, worth $16k for about $3k in fees and stuff. Totally worth it, and would totally recommend it. Here's a tip: if you ever go to one of those game shows that pick contestants out of the audience, they have a producer briefly interview everyone, usually in groups, beforehand. And as long as you're lively without being theatrical and seem interesting without being crazy, you have a good shot at being picked. When the producer was interviewing the 20-member slot of audience members I was grouped with, he asked everyone their name and what they did, and one interesting fact about themselves. And one random guy who desperately wanted to be on TV started doing the worm there in the interview area. You could immediately see on the producer's face that though he was forcing laughter, that's definitely not what they're looking to put on TV. Loose cannons are a big no-go. My grandmother was queen for a day. It's an older game show. She won a new living room set. Pretty nice for the times. Not a game show. I rang the bell on the sledgehammer game at a country fair. The girl I was on a date with was impressed. Still married after 35 plus years. So there's a traveling version of The Price is Right called The Price is Right Live that travels around Canada and the USA doing shows that aren't nearly as awesome as the ones on TV, but still pretty good. They came to my hometown, and I was given a ticket to it on my 23rd birthday. 1,000 plus people in the audience, and I get called down. I bid on this 6-slot machine worth $375 to get on stage. Then I went on stage and won a trip to Vegas. All the while the host, who was an overly tanned dude, possibly Todd Newton, kept telling me to show some excitement. The audience sang me happy birthday as I walked off stage, which was nice. Then I got mauled by a crowd on the way out of the building because I had a very distinctive sweater on and was recognized by pretty much everyone. Well, the trip to Vegas was really just $1,000 in Travelocity dollars, and I was given the choice of the Travelocity money or an $800 check. I took the $800, which felt really underwhelming. Oh, and I didn't even get to keep the slot machine I bid on to get on stage, which was what I really wanted. I used that money to buy a laptop. The end. My girlfriend and I were on Shop Till You Drop and won big. I still use the dishes every day. The trips. It was a long time ago. I won was decent. I paid the taxes on my winnings with a check before leaving the lot. It took months and months for all the deliveries to come in, which was weird. I sold off some of it, used a lot of it, and can't find the episode anywhere. How did it help my life? The producer became a friend of ours and helped me propose to my game show partner girlfriend, and we are still happily married 15 years later. I won $15,000 on Millionaire with Meredith, not Regis. I kept $11,200. I had to wait 4 months for the episode to air and another month after that to get paid. Went to England and did a few smaller travel things with it, and then used it to rack up as little debt as possible in grad school. Won $700 getting a question right on a radio call-in show. My parents gave me $100 of it and kept the rest. At the time I was annoyed. As an adult looking back, it was because we were flat broke. $100 was an insane amount of money to a 12-year-old in the 90s, and the rest went to crazy things like us being able to eat. So overall not too bad. Oh, and when I was 20 I got to stand in a glass tube as a bunch of store vouchers for my local mall zoomed around me, and anything I caught I kept. Shoved them all in my shirt and walked away with a few hundred worth. Not really a game show, but for those who remember Bozo Circus, I got to play the grand prize game, every Midwestern child's dream. How did it help my life? For every bucket you hit, out of 6, you get a bunch of toys/gifts. I think I got to bucket hash 4 or 5. They're much smaller in person, and we drove home with a car full of toys, games, and Bozo hot dogs. As a child, it was pretty epic. My brother was on Pyramid in 77 or 78. He got a lifetime of Rice-A-Roni. It was a case of like 48 boxes every year for like 3 years. We got a letter that the show was going off air and out of the Rice-A-Roni business. Cut us right off. P.S. My wife said it was a show called $25,000 Pyramid. Years ago called into a radio show and won 2 tickets to a cruise through the Bahamas. Only seconds later to be told it was strictly for couples 25 and up. Was extremely disappointed, was like 19 or something, and never understood why. That's it for now. Thank you for watching the video. Leave your comments below. See you soon.